Okay, this is a tutorial on Minuet by Fernando Sor. A brilliant piece. You actually start on second position, right? And it's great to actually set up your hands so that you can execute the hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's critical to have this part of your knuckles, under knuckles, I guess, as close as possible to the neck of the guitar so that you can easily articulate those hammer-ons and pull-offs, right? So you actually start by hammer-on, F sharp to G. Then you pull off from 4 to 2, so an A to G, then E, and you get yourself back to first position to play a C major chord. And I suggest starting quietly, right? So you get your crescendo there, right? Right, and then you have, again, you're in second position, right? So 4 to 2, 1 to 2, right? This is all on the B string. Right, and then you have a dominant chord, so you're going to have to get your G here, then you get your D on the 5th string, 5th fret, 2 grabs the F on the 4th string. Those are half stacked. What I mean by half stacked is that they're not directly on top, stacked on top of each other. They have one or more strings in between that are open, or in this case, busy with another finger. Make sure that you get the open G string with that, right? So it's a G dominant 7. Right, then you get back to C major. Now on the right hand, it's very critical that you look at what your right hand is doing. Right, so you actually start thumb on the 5th string, index on the 4th string, ring skips over to the B string. Right, so the middle finger is playing the G string in between. Right. Then you're going to switch to your D minor chord. Right? We'll look at the left hand in a second, right? So again, you're doing the same thing, but this time your thumb is on the 6th string, middle finger, and back over, right? So the fingering here, it's a D minor chord. It's on first inversion, which means that your F is your bass. Right? And then you're going to go back to a kind of, G7 of chord of sorts. Right, so you have 3 and 4 half stack on the 3rd fret. 1 pulls off from the C, then 2, back to C, right? So pull off 1 on the B string, G, 2, right? G string I meant, right? It's an A. Then back to C major, right? And then you repeat this, right? Right, the next part, right, so start with on first position, you're going to use your second finger as a consistent finger that pulls off. Then you're going to make a bar on the 5th position. Your 3 is going to grab the A on the 7th fret of the D string. Then you have a dominant chord, right? 3 is going to turn into 2 to grab the G sharp. 3 and 4 are going to be half stacked on the 7th fret, right? 3rd string, E at 1st string. And you're going to complement that with an E, the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And then you go back to your original chord, but you add a high C on the 8th fret by your pinky, right? It is a little bit difficult, right? Because a lot of people will want to flatten their hands. I bring my wrist a little forward, right? In order to be able to accommodate getting my pinky there, right? And notice that at all times I'm trying to keep this part of my hand closer to the neck, right? Right? And again. Dominant. Right? And then you actually find yourself on just basically a bar. Then you have an A sharp hammering over to a B. So that's 6th fret going to the 7th fret. Now, I really recommend using your pinky to hammer there, although they are adjacent, right? This is 6th fret, that's 7th fret, right? Now, what happens here is you're going to have to coordinate the left hand and the right hand as you hammer, and you're playing with your thumb. So, and on my right hand, I become very, very light on my thumb as I play this. Very light on my last note because I have a hammer on that I'm accompanying with that bass. Right? And then you get yourself back to 3rd position. And let me just jump over to this chord. Actually, you have a D in the bass here. Right? So you have a bar, a mini bar, half bar on the 3rd fret. 2 is grabbing the 3rd string 2nd fret. And then back over. On the last arrival, you actually do grab a G, right? So the first time, D bass here, right? Back over, 2 to 4, and then add 3 to the D bass, right? And stay there because you start the next section out of this. This is the D string, that's the E string. You're going to then move up and scoot over, right? So you're getting a D sharp and you're getting your D sharp over here. So it's just octaves. Slide them over, right? And then you slide into 1st position. So you're in 3rd position, change strings, move over to 4th position, 5th position, 1st position, then 2 and A. Right, and then you have a dominant, right? So you're half stack on the 5th fret, 3rd string, 1st string, index finger on the 3rd fret, D string, right? Right, and then a D7 that resolves to a G, right? So again, here. And then you do the same distance again, right? Right? And well, I think that the second time you do add an A bass. Then same dominant and with an extra bass. Right, then you have this very beautiful lyrical part that in some editions you actually start, since you repeat it, you do it in different positions. So we're going to actually start it a little bit darker on the 7th position, right? 2 to 1 on the B string, 4 to 2 pull-offs. Then 1 on the 5th position, hammers to 4. Then I changed the sedation a little bit. 2 on the B string, pinky right next door, not the ring finger, but the pinky. There's a good reason for that. 6th fret, 7th fret, B string, G string, right? So 7th position. Then hammer 1 to 4, 2 to 4, but on the B string and the G string. Then your pinky goes to the 3rd string, 5th fret, and that sets you up for the next chord that comes up, right? Right, then you do it on the 2nd position, right? 2nd position, 2 to 1, 4 to 2. Right, you get to 1st position, open. Right, and And then you have this little stretto, just those little episodic parts of it. So not the whole thing, but just a snippet of it, right? So instead of, it's just a little, right? So it's start out on 6th position, 4 to 1, then scoot over your pinky so that you're in 5th position. Well, kind of. You really would be in 4th position. Then scoot that pinky over so that it's in the 5th fret. So, and then you're back on the original theme, right? Because it's a rondo, you're going to get that original theme A repeated. Where are we in the music? Yeah. And this is where you're going to normally end the piece. There's a different section that starts out on the G string. It's very beautiful, and we'll look at that in another tutorial. Okay? Well, at that point, you finish the first section of the piece. You're going to end the piece with this once you look at the next part, which is very lyrical, very beautiful. It starts out on the G string, but we'll take care of that on the next tutorial. Have fun.